Before I start, I really want to congratulate you on 40 years of ministry and 35 years with this parish. Many of you may not be aware, but when I became Minister of Education, the first person I asked to serve as one of my board chair was this very righteous and good gentleman. The difficulty that he has is that while he does not have any gray hair, I have a lot. But I really do want to say that your name has become synonymous with this parish. And I think that it is fair to say that in building out a nation, it comes only from building communities and building families. And your role in both causes you to stand as a beacon for the people of this parish and the people of this nation. And I thank you. And I feel awkward backing you to speak. That's all right. To all of the other priests, visiting clergy, representatives of the Salvation Army, the Muslim community, the multi-faith organizations, all of whom are here, to the public servants, to the educators, to the ordinary people of this parish, I say thank you for being here. This is a very special moment for me. And it is because in September 2018, in Brooklyn, Reverend Bob, in Brooklyn, while attending the United Nations General Assembly and meeting with Barbadians, I asked for the first time that we consider the possibility of using 2020 as our year to reset our nation. And that if we accept that it is the year to reset, that we would do so parish by parish by parish by parish. And I say so because we knew that we would probably need about 18 months to stop the bleeding in the economy, to stop the hemorrhaging. And that once we stopped the hemorrhaging, the next step was about resetting the vision. And in resetting the vision, while your government is free to help set the large vision for you, as I tried to do in what I will only refer to as a family talk 2 nights ago, that we understand that how and what we do to give flesh to the vision depends now on what the population is prepared to carry and bear. How much ever I may have the desire, how much ever Karen Goodrich may have the desire, it is up to us now to bring as many people in the center and determine the true trajectory of where this nation shall go. And the only way I know how to do it is by breaking it down into constituent elements. And the Lord blessed us with the divine coincidence that we have 12 months and we have 11 parishes and the whole. The Lord blessed us with the divine coincidence that we would also have the opportunity to celebrate the centenary of the Father of Independence, and that it should coincide also with the start of this process. And further, it was not for me to say who shall lead and who shall not lead, but simply to reflect that the north of the island was a divine coincidence with the Lady Lucy for such a time as this. But more importantly, for being that part that bridges the west with the east, that gives us the constant of the North Star, that allows our ancestral roots from across the Atlantic to merge with our current reality in the Americas and the Caribbean. And however which way you look at it, there is a divine providence that is being displayed. That we can therefore be here this morning is the first thing that I want to give thanks for. That we can do it in the bucolic beauty of this parish makes it even easier and sweeter. That we begin to understand that this gathering is first and foremost, therefore, about giving flesh to a vision that says that Barbadians must be comfortable, happy, confident, educated, healthy, and safe. That Barbados must work for all people, whether Bajans, Caribbean people, or visitors. That Barbados must sustain itself for generations yet unborn, by making sure that those things that threaten to choke us, whether it be the fleshly things of debt or those things in our environment like lack of water, like pollution on land or sea, that we come to begin to understand that our role is simply that of guardian rather than of exploiter at all costs. As we give flesh to this vision through the Ideas Forum, through the consultations, we gathering, as Karen Goodrich said, is also about our ability first and foremost to connect. And connect is the basis of the invitation. To those who have come from far, like Reverend Bob, at their expense, we thank you. But also within this nation, there are Bobs and Boyces and Brooms and Graves and Griffiths and Springers and Cumberbatches who live in St. Philip and St. Michael and St. John and St. James and Christchurch, but whose roots come from St. Lucy, and for whom the gathering is really a signal to you that wherever we go in this world, that we must never forget our roots and our responsibility to those who gave us life and who nurtured us in this. And that it is only in giving that ultimately we shall receive. So that those from St. Lucy, even on this island, must use this month as the month to come back to your parish, to reconnect, and to start giving back, not even so much money, but time. Because it is in the giving of time that we find the most precious commodity. There is none of us who can take back the time of yesterday. Not one of us. So that when we give somebody time, we have given them the greatest gift that we can give alongside love. And I therefore ask this country to help us celebrate parish by parish by parish, but in concrete terms today and for the rest of the month of January to the parish of St. Lucy. And this parish is one that has led this way for us in so many different aspects of our heritage. I want to also ask us to remember that celebration, connection, charity, those three C's underpinning the vision that we want to frame. I want us also to reflect that change is inevitable. And in a very real sense, the biggest challenge that this nation will face over the next few years is the management of change. Whether we like it or not, life does not remain static. 1 week ago, I did not have to worry as Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs about the prospect of instability in today's world that may lead to the increase in oil prices. This morning, we do. Because actions have been taken globally that go way beyond anything that we on a small island state can control, but in recognition that we are victims of circumstances sometimes. How we shape it and how we respond to it is completely within our control. When I say, therefore, to the nation that we need to be able to manage change, to understand that I know people will be anxious. Sometimes I am anxious. I know people will have doubts. Sometimes I have doubts. But I know that after reflection and consideration, that sometimes we have to put one foot in front of the next, and the next in front of the next, and the next in front of the next. Because if we remain in the same position, we will atrophy. And I therefore ask us to recognize that trust each other and let us hold hands. Yes, and show we love Barbados. Yes, and show that we care. But yes, to more than ever, show that in holding hands we can lighten the burden of each other and make all things possible. It is and must be accepted that everyone will never always be completely happy. But what we must always, always, always be able to do is to talk with, not to and not at. To talk with each other and to share our concerns and to be accountable for them. Because when we hide behind anonymity, we do not allow for healing to take place because we do not accept the responsibility of our words and our actions. And I say so, for even as I read today's newspaper, much of what is being said is said behind the cloth of anonymity, without us realizing that part of the process of maturity, part of the process of a nation growing, part of the process of a human being becoming an adult, is to accept responsibility for our actions and our words, but also to accept that we do not always get exactly what we want, but we adjust and we work together and we compromise on that vision. And that is why, Canon Goodrich, more than anything else, I thank you for your sermon and your words this morning, for the inspiration, for the humor, because it is in the humor that the communication reaches ultimately and is cemented, for appreciating that this, above all else, requires us to be on the same page with the vision and mission. Because if we are, then all things are possible. I'm satisfied that 95% of us in this country have the same values. There are some who want to test it, but it is up to the rest of us to remind them not both here. And if the rest of us stand firm in defense of what we believe in, what we stand for, and where we want to go. Then in the same way that we were able to bring this country back from the brink of economic crisis with the value of our dollar, then I have every confidence that we can bring it back. Did it require sacrifice? Yes. Did it cost us something? Yes. Did we do it perfectly? No. Did we do it well? Yes. The pursuit of perfection is very often an obstacle to progress. And part of the difficulty of the world in which we live today, particularly with selfies and all kinds of things and glamour on a telecoms world, platform, social media, is that we believe that perfection is the only thing. But in truth and in fact, perfection belongs to whom? And only. But it is ours to try and to remain focused and to know that we are to be anchored in the values that have made us and brought us safe thus far. So my friends, with those few words, I say to you that I look forward to 11 more months of this, to 26 more days in the parish of St. Lucie, to understand and learn St. Lucie in a way that I never knew it. And as I said at River Bay, the benefit that I get, and I notice because, you see, I say to my colleagues who are MPs, they get the benefit to do a few. I have to do all. But I welcome it because I view this as my understanding and learning this country in a way that I would never have had the opportunity to do. And that I pray that God will give me breath and strength, therefore, to walk with each and every one of you to be able to perfect the finest vision that we can for this country in 2020. But as we perfect that vision of our dreams, that we remain anchored in our commitment always that we must be determined to deliver. Because a brand is only as real as it is credible. And if we speak the words, if we talk the talk without walking the walk, then others will no longer believe in us or give us the benefit of the doubt. So let us to the task, pursue connection, celebration, charity, and perfect that finest vision such that we can work together to build the best Barbados possible. Thank you, and God bless you all.